Hello, Mavericks. How's it going? This is Rob Reinhold. I cannot believe that here we are at the end of the first quarter. Tomorrow is going to wrap up the first quarter, but let's get into what the market has been doing. So today was another up day in the markets. So if we take a look at what happened today, we see that another bullish day. We did break the 50-day moving average. We'll take a look at that on the chart here in just a second. If we look at the performance this week, today, Dow and S&P were up about 0.5%. NASDAQ has been the stellar outperformer, and the Russell 2000 has been the stellar underperformer. Actually had a down day today after gapping up well over 1%. Oil and gold continue to march up. Gold is about to break out of some all-time highs. I think it's definitely going to be some nice trades on there. You can see here, as you can see here, this was a bullish day, but it wasn't spectacularly bullish. And this is a bullish market, and it's not spectacularly bullish. You can see 62% of all stocks went up today, and yet we still have the majority of stocks in the S&P are under their 50-day moving average. So we're going to talk about where the strength has been in this market, and we've been talking about this for the last couple weeks because if you take a look at the S&P is just barely breaking out above its 50-day moving average, but yet we are nowhere close to our January high that we made right up here at about 417. And frankly, we're not even back to the high in March that we made about 407. But you can see that we are more bullish than bearish. So the S&P looks okay. I'm like at a 0 to a +1 here on the S&P. I come over here to the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is just charging higher. And you can see that the NASDAQ just took out some serious resistance, just took out its January highs, and we're now off to the races again. There's no question of where the strength has been. It's been in the NASDAQ, specifically large cap tech. I'm talking about Microsoft and Apple. I'm talking about Amazon and Tesla. I'm talking about Meta. I'm talking about all the semiconductors. Look how big of a part these play in the scoring of the overall markets. The majority of stocks aren't doing all that well, but these are doing fantastically. And one of the things that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks was the question, is the large cap tech going to drag the rest of the stocks up with it? Or is the rest of the market going to drag down large cap tech? My premise was that tech was going to pull everything up, and that's now what we're getting. We're starting to get everything looking much better, not just the large cap tech stocks. So when we really take a look at where we are on the S&P, we were at a 0. I'm going to bump this up to a +1, maybe a +0.5. The NASDAQ is clearly at a +2 right now. We have been leaning a little bit more bullish over the last week or two because that's what the market's been telling us to do. If we get another green candle tomorrow, that to me is going to signal that this market is definitely a bullish market. That being said, we've got big news tomorrow morning. I'll cover that in the end. Let's take a look at a few potential setups. First one I want to talk about was straight from our Wednesday trading room session with one of our traders. One of our traders said, hey, we're going to get long NVIDIA off this little bull pullback. So we've got this little bull pullback, very nice and orderly, nice reversal candle, and nice confirmation candle. Everything looks great. We're now breaking out to the upside. 2.8 is the short-term target on that. It would have been great to get in today. Is it a little late to get in tomorrow? Probably. But I think you want to wait and see what happens with tomorrow's PCE price index. That's going to be the real tell of what happens tomorrow. So if we get a down move tomorrow, you definitely don't want to be entering this tomorrow. Now that news comes out an hour before the market, so you're going to know before the market opens up whether or not you actually want to get into this one. Next one is Fastly, FSLY. This is also in tech. Now ironically, I actually exited a trade in Fastly. So the trade I made was a 14-16 diagonal call spread that expired this Friday, tomorrow. And it was so far above my upper strike that I took the entire trade down for close to a max gain. Now, I don't usually re-enter trades once I've exited them, whether I made money or lost money, because I don't want to be what's called revenge trading. I don't want to be focused on this one symbol when I have so many symbols to choose from. So I personally am not going to re-enter this tomorrow because my rules say you cannot re-enter it if you just got out of it. That being said, I'm sharing this with everyone because this looks like a fantastic chart setup. we just spent about 7 days in this really tight little ascending triangle, and we've got some nice momentum here to the upside. So 1750 short-term target here on Fastly, FSLY. In the sideways, I took this one directly from one of our traders in our Wednesday trading room session, and it is Comcast sideways. So Comcast looks like it's pinned between the 50 and the 20. So you can see here it's underperforming the market relatively, but it's still going up a little bit. I think that's where you want to be. I think you want to be neutral to, maybe slightly bullish, maybe even slightly bearish on this one. I'm liking 37 as the midpoint. So I'm looking for a 35, 37, 39 butterfly. I know the trader in the session yesterday was looking for more of a calendar spread, which is a very similar trade to a butterfly. Works a little bit differently with volatility. That's really about the difference between the two trades. And then lastly, let's finish this off with a short. Looking at 3M. This is another trade from one of our traders in the session yesterday. Nice little bear rally. That was a nice little entry point. We fell down again. We just got a nice little bear rally. This candle is a nasty, ugly candle. We gapped up this morning, and all day long they were selling, waiting for just one more red candle here for our confirmation candle. We get that tomorrow. This is nice entry. I wouldn't be too bearish on anything here. 100 is about the most aggressive you can get here. And frankly, if they've got dollar strikes, I'm going to be looking at like a 101, 103 bear call spread. A very wimpy trade here on 3M here, but it definitely is one of the weaker stocks out there. Let's talk about tomorrow. I said this last week, is that I could see us going up all week this week, and then on Friday, we get the core PCE price index. This is the Fed's preferred inflation indicator. And if it comes out hot, we could potentially lose all of our gains that we've had over the last 4 days. I have no idea what's going to happen. Sorry they don't send me the news in advance. But I know that if it's a bad report, meaning that inflation is still elevated and worse than expected, we will likely lose what we gained this week. If this number is decent, or maybe even better than expected, this will pretty much cement that the S&P is now on its way to retesting those January highs, and frankly, the Qs are ready to move up to the next level. We'd have to probably look back to last August to see where it is. So tomorrow is a big day, and I thought it was going to be the biggest day of the week. We'll have to wait and see what happens. When we do the trading room over the weekend, we'll have a very clear call of where this market is likely going to go moving forward. That is a market roundup. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye.